At the 2025 Canadian Grand Prix, people were very quick to make the association between Piastri and Norris and what happened back at the same circuit in 2011 between Button and Hamilton. But that race happened back in 2011, so how did people make the association so quickly? After all, there are a lot of incidents in F1. To be fair, they are pretty similar situations. Back in 2011, Button and Hamilton were teammates in the McLaren F1 team, and obviously Piastri and Norris are now. And like Norris, Hamilton made a move on his teammate towards the end of the straight. And then they collided. However, it was entirely Norris's fault, whereas Button did move, but Button moved because he couldn't see Hamilton. And why couldn't he see him? Well, the reason for that is probably the reason why this incident was so memorable. The 2011 Canadian Grand Prix is the longest race in F1 history, clocking in at 4 hours, 4 minutes and 39 seconds. And that was due to torrential rain. But to be fair, it was also Button's race story that was pretty incredible and also record-breaking. So, here is what happened. Button started in P7 and he did make his way up the grid, but then they got to lap 7 and that's when the incident happened with Hamilton. He got a puncture from this, which led to his first pit stop of the race. And then he went and picked up a drive-through penalty for speeding under a safety car, which meant he dropped from P12 to P15. Now, during the safety car that was brought out because of the incident with Hamilton, he was able to move over to the Inters, and they really helped him to move up the grid. This meant he was in P10 during lap 25, which is when the red flag was called because of the rain, and that red flag lasted over 2 hours. Once they were racing again, he did have an incident with Pedro de la Rosa, but he got away unscathed. But then he had a collision with Alonso, which left him with front wing damage and also another puncture. He did manage to make it back to the pits, but it also meant that he was lost during lap 37. But that didn't stop Button, and it didn't stop the McLaren F1 team, and it really helped his case that he went onto the slicks early, because he was P4 with 15 laps to go. And he didn't stop there. On the final lap, he was in P2 and he was ready to absolutely send it in order to secure P1, but he didn't have to because Vettel went wide, which gave him the perfect opportunity to steal the win. And not only did he win, but he also beat the record for the most number of pit stops while still winning the Grand Prix. In this case, it was 6. And he broke the record for the slowest average winning speed, which was 46.5 miles per hour. And I believe the Grand Prix also broke the record for the most number of safety cars deployed in a single race. In this case, it was 6. So given all of that, I don't think it is any surprise that the incident between Button and Hamilton was so memorable.